Good afternoon, happy holidays. My name is Suna Mejera and I'm here to speak to you from Colorado Christian University for my final grade, and it's about the importance of being properly protected insurance-wise and having the right agent. I have been in the insurance industry for over 22 years. I am certified for the state of Florida to provide assistance for property and casualty, health, and life. Every 2 years, I get recertified so I can continue to give valuable assistance to my prospects and my clients. There are many different types of insurance. It is important to have the right amount of coverage and the right professional to help you and guide you with those decisions. Many of these coverages are state laws. It is important to go over with your insurance professional to make sure that you, not only do you satisfy the law, but that you're also properly insuring your assets. There are many reasons why we have insurance and why it is so important. If we have property, whether it be a home or a business, we need to have it protected. Also our autos. Secondly, it may be bank requirement. And lastly, we need to protect our property and our assets against catastrophes like fire, flood, hurricane. We recently had a hurricane here in Florida, Hurricane Irma, and it was one of the largest hurricanes, and it was devastating. It might be also for liability reasons. We might have insurance. If you're a business owner, you are required to carry workers' compensation to protect your employees. You might be required to have liability for third party. You might be required to have auto insurance, and many of these are state or government laws. It is important to have the correct amount of insurance. Go ahead. One of these that is state required, many states, almost all of them, require you to have, if you have an auto, you need to have auto insurance. Auto insurance is state required. It gives you peace of mind. Most lenders require it. It can avoid you from being sued from injuring someone and not having it. Here in Florida, the minimum required is 10-20-10, which is PIPPD. The first 10,000 is personal injury protection, which protects you and the people that are in your vehicle from injuries to your body. The second 10 is property damage. That 10,000 is for any damages you might cause, not only to a vehicle, maybe you crash into a fence or to somebody else's property. But even though that the Florida law only requires you to have PIPPD, you are still required by law, if you injure somebody and cause bodily injury, you're responsible for those injuries. The second insurance coverage that is extremely important to have and is also a requirement is the Affordable Health Care Act, which you might know it as the Obamacare. This law was put into effect to make health care affordable to most people that were uninsurable before because of pre-existing conditions. The law provides consumers with subsidies. This means that they get a premium tax credit that lowers the household with income between 100 and 400% of federal poverty level. Also, this law expands the medical program to cover all adults in income below 138% of the federal poverty level. Not all states have expanded their medical programs. The law also supports innovative medical care delivery, methods and designed to lower the cost of health care generally. But there is a problem with this law. If you do not have proper health insurance coverage, either by the Health Care Act, maybe you might have Medicaid or Medicare, or maybe you might be under your spouse's or your work insurance, you have to have some type of insurance. If you don't, there will be a penalty, and the penalty is 2.5% of the total income. In many households, it could mean $695 as a fee, as a fine when you do your taxes. $695 for adults and $345 for children with no household limit. This could be a great burden. So it is important to get health care insurance, and the open enrollment was from November the 15th to December the 16th. So if in that period you did not enroll either in the Health Care Act or have insurance, you will be penalized when you do your taxes. Also, property and home. Many lenders require, if you're going to be purchasing a home or a business, you are required by the lenders to have insurance. And if you do not have this type of insurance, most lenders will force place coverage, making it at least 3 times the amount that you would be able to get. Lastly, I'm going to talk to you about workers' compensation. Workers' compensation is to help the employees get compensated in case they get hurt or injured. And it doesn't matter whether they got hurt because of their negligence or they got hurt because of somebody else's negligence. If you have employees, you are required to have workers' compensation. Here in Florida, if you have non-construction employees, you need to have at least 4 employees by law to have coverage, or you will get fined. And construction employees, 1 or more, including the officers, have to have insurance. But that doesn't exempt you if one of your employees, for example, ABC company has only 3 employees and one of them gets hurt. You are still required to carry insurance for that employee in case you get hurt, because you will get fined and you will have to cover the employee's medical expenses. Workers' compensation insurance serves for 2 purposes. It assures that the injured worker gets medical care and compensation for portions of the income they lose while they are unable to return to work, and it usually protects employers from lawsuits by workers injured while working. Workers receive benefits regardless of who was at fault in the accident. If the worker is killed, while workers' compensation, as it is often abbreviated, provides death benefits for workers' dependents. This is something, workers' compensation is very overlooked, and it is an extremely important coverage to have for business owners. The Division of Workers' Compensation is also required to notify any appropriate contractor's licensing board if it finds that the construction or electrical contractor is in violation of any law. The Division of Workers' Compensation must first give the employer an opportunity to show evidence of coverage. For example, let's say I'm an inspector and they randomly do this. I go in to see, come here, Mr. Client. I go in to see ABC president of the company, Adrian Lopez. And Adrian Lopez has 4 employees. And I go in, Mr. Adrian Lopez, my name is Sonia Herrera. I work for the Division of Workers' Compensation. I do a little small talk, and I ask him, sir, do you have workers' compensation?
I would say yes.
And you would give me what, sir?
Certificate of insurance.
Or your policy. If he says yes, I need to see his certificate of insurance or his policy, and I will verify that it is correct. And what is the case that I come in and I ask you, Mr. Lopez, do you have workers' compensation insurance? And you say,
No.
and I say, sir, you have a matter of 15 days to get the insurance, or you will be fined. Sometimes at that moment, if you're lucky, your business will not shut down. If you are not, which has happened to many of my clients, the business is shut down immediately by the state of Florida, and a fine is put. And it starts from the beginning that you start your business. Let's say Mr. Lopez opened up his business in 2015. From 2015 to 2017, he will be fined for the time that he did not have insurance. Thank you, Mr. Lopez. This is my beautiful son, Adrian. He helps me a lot. So now that we have gone over the importance, it is important to have not only the right amount of insurance, but the proper agent. An agent that you check their background and you know that they're properly that they have the right licenses, that they don't have any problems with the state. You might be able to check with the state and find out who this agent is. How qualified are they? Have they committed any fraud? It is important that you have in your corner somebody that's going to be helping you, sit down with you and explain all the information. These are very complex policies, and you need somebody to help you explain them and be in your corner. The insurance agent is the middleman between the companies that are enforcing the insurance. If you pay your premium, the policy says that the company is willing to pay for any claims that you might have that are covered under the policy. And they're the middleman also for the insured, making sure that the insured knows what is excluded on the policy, what are the clauses, and mostly important, that they build a lasting relationship between the client and the company. Okay, lastly, failure to carry adequate insurance can be very costly, time-consuming, and can lead to very serious consequences with the law. On the other hand, having adequate insurance protects your personal property, satisfies financial obligations, and you will be in compliance with the law. There are many different types of insurance. That is why it is important to have the right amount of coverage for both your personal and your business. Many of these coverages are required, as I said, by state law. It is important to have the adequate insurance professional to explain coverages and details that will protect your fines, overpayment of premium, and assist you in your properly insure your assets. Thank you. This is Selena Herrera for Colorado Christian University.